Oh, I guess we could look at the Rich stuff. You want to look at the Rich stuff? So he said, I have read statements made against me today. I will share my side of the story, but need some time to collect my thoughts. OTK has requested that I resign from my position and have agreed. I will make an update soon. Okay. Twitch streamer Azalea Lexi has alleged Rich Campbell of sexually assaulting her late last year. Rich has been asked to resign from OTK immediately and has agreed, saying he will share his side of the story. I mean, this makes sense, right? Because OTK doesn't want to have anything to do with it, you know? Dude, this is the this is the second. Miskiff was accused of this shit, and now Rich. That's insane. I know Mia Malkova isn't lying about Rich Campbell's pregnant fetish because he said he wanted to get me pregnant while he assaulted me and then sent me into the streets at 3 a.m. by myself with nowhere to go. If you want the whole account, here it is. For those of you who decide to read further, the allegations include accusing Rich of jerking off and dude, is this TOS? With her wanting no part before he dude, is this TOS, man? I think this is TOS, dude. That's cool. XQC covered it, dude. XQC could probably fuck on stream and only get banned for an hour, dude. You know how much money he makes Twitch, dude? They'd suck his dick, man. Quinn? It doesn't, dude, he makes Twitch a massive amount of money. Okay, before he finished inside her without consent and without protection. Okay, so here's the full twit longer. Rich and I had a very up and down, on and off friendship and relationship for dude, oh my God. All right, I'm gonna already tell you now, dude, my reading skills are like that of a caveman. For 4 years, it started towards the end of his career on the Call of Duty desk. Our physical relationship started in Columbus, Ohio, 2019. Okay, so that was 3 years ago and was a disaster from there without going into extensive detail because that's what would be required to explain it. There were several times during the 4 years that he made it clear he only viewed me as a sexual object, but when I would confront him about it, I would get love bombed and gaslit into thinking he cared about me and wanted to be with me. Okay, so all this happened late last year, she said. This would happen during the single periods of my life, as anytime I would be in a relationship, he would text or call me. I would tell him I was seeing someone else after he lied to me about having a girlfriend for an extended amount of time in June of 2021. I mean, all of this doesn't sound crazy so far. I mean, all of this sounds like it could happen. Like it could. Not that it did, but like that it could happen. I always had a deep love for Rich as a person and friend. In the beginning of our friendship, he was there for me like not a lot of people are, so I gave him another chance to be friends. He told me he would prove me that he was working on being a better person and that he wanted to be in my life. Then in October, he began his typical antics and begged me to come to Texas around his Sunbathon. What the fuck that is? Subathon? I don't know what that is. I said no, I did not think it was appropriate to stay with him because I did not want to sleep with him and that I did not trust him. He also came to LA in December of 2021, so that was last year, and asked to see me, but mainly was only asking me to come to his hotel. I said no due to the fact that I was not interested in having sex with him. There was not much communication until I was at French restaurant AOC on the Upper East Side of January 30th of this year with 2 girlfriends. As the night came to an end around 12 a.m., I Ubered to Rich's apartment in Williamsburg because he asked to see me. Dude, these people go all over the place, man. How the fuck they find time to go all over the place, dude? Like every day I'm streaming. I know what a subathon is, but she put sunbathon, so she just misspelled it. I Ubered to Rich's apartment in Williamsburg because he asked to see me. We were in the movie Not Here to Sleep with You, and I do not want that. At one point in the theater, he said, I think tonight is the last time I'm going to ever see you. After trying to speak to him for an hour about our relationship and the awful way he treated me, he just continued to deflect and said there's no reason to talk about it because it makes him feel bad. He said that we couldn't stay in the room and needed to go up How old is Rich, just out of curiosity? I actually never really thought about it. How old is Rich? Okay, so no one actually knows. Okay, no one actually knows. Okay. He continued to deflect and said there's no reason to talk about it because it makes him feel bad. He said that we couldn't stay in the room and needed to go up to his apartment per the apartment rules. I said I don't trust that. He promised me that was the situation, that nothing would happen. It was respecting the boundary I set. We get upstairs and he starts talking about how hot I would be pregnant. He then proceeds to jerk off in front of me while continuing to talk about how he thinks about getting me pregnant constantly. He kept begging me to have sex with him. Dude, this is weird. I said no. He continually attempted to take my clothes off. I kept saying no at the end, and I mean at the very end. He rolled me over and put himself inside me and finished unprotected. Afterwards, I called my friend who I was staying with so I could come back, and she wasn't answering because it was late at night and she was already asleep. Rich said I couldn't stay there, so I called hotels around New York City looking for a cheap room. I asked for the nearest subway, and it was a 20-minute walk. Without saying anything to him, I left and cried in his lobby as he texted me, "You okay?" Jesus Christ. I never replied. I left. I went to a sketchy hotel in Chinatown and processed it by myself. I left New York the next day. I never spoke to Rich again. I'm a 30-year-old woman in a relationship with someone currently. I've had several relationships with people that just simply did not work out, and I still respect those people and would never make a false claim based on a relationship ending. I get nothing out of lying about this. In fact, it's almost expected to receive ridicule when speaking about sexual assault. If you can believe me or not, I genuinely don't owe anyone anything, and I'm not here to beg people to believe me. Okay, her shit's like, I mean, what does it matter what her picture is, dude? It doesn't matter that her picture looks like this, like she's showing cleavage. Like, what the fuck does that matter? Dude, it doesn't matter at all. She could be showing her full fucking tits and it wouldn't matter. You do realize that, like, people in the sex industry, they can still be abused, right? You are aware of that, right? Like, are you fucking kidding me? What the fuck? So he hasn't put his side. Nothing that she said is crazy to me. Well, okay. Let me rephrase. Nothing that she said, the way that he presented himself, is crazy to me, because I have known people that have done the exact same thing. I have had guy friends, like I've had dude friends that have treated, well, not only women, but men also like this. I mean, granted, it was a long time ago. You know, it was back when I was like 25, 26. You guys got to remember, I'm old as fuck, man. I'm probably like at least a decade older than a majority of you in here. Oh, God. Nothing that she said, like, I've known people to do this type of shit. I mean, I'm curious to hear his side of the story. First off, I want to say that I don't believe this to 100%. Not because I think she's lying, but because I want to hear both sides of the story. I want to hear everything first. But the thing is like, people cross that line, right? Like, all of this to me is very believable. I could definitely see someone doing this easy. I don't think I've really talked about this too much, but one of my best friends, the lead singer of my band, actually, I have not talked to him in like 13 years because he fucked me over for a girl. Dude, I was like, he was my brother. When we were growing up, we didn't really have much family, but we had each other. Like, it was me and him. He was the lead singer of my band. He was my best friend. And I had known him for like 11 years, 10 years, 11 years. And I was like dating this girl casually, and he did some really shady shit, when realistically, if he just would have told me how he felt about her, I would have backed off, honestly. Yeah, it's crazy, man. But yeah, like, so I don't put it like, but ever since then, I don't put anything past anybody, man. And it doesn't matter how long you know somebody. It does not matter. Like, you can know somebody for 20 years and they can turn out to be a fucking murderer. Jesus Christ. You know what? Actually, holy fuck, dude. Another member of my band, he actually, you know what? That's another story. But my point here is that it does not matter how long you know somebody. Do not put anything past anybody. Do not think that just because someone is nice that you know them. You can think you know them, but you don't know them. So I've had a lot of experience with bullshit like this, man. You got to be careful with who you trust, man. All of this sounds very believable. You know what they say about coincidences, right? I feel like all jokes, or a majority of jokes, have a little bit of truth to them. And this like is like a meme and shit, you know? It's like kind of a meme, but like, dude, and then like right after this comes out, dude, this TwitLonger comes out. You know what I'm saying? My opinion of this shit is I try very, very, very hard to not jump to conclusions. This looks pretty bad for him. I will say that this looks pretty bad for him. The thing is this is just a TwitLonger. Has she actually provided any like type of evidence or anything? Oh, so these are like text messages. Oh, they have nothing to do with her story. See, here's another thing. I don't believe this at all. This matters nothing. None of these matter. No, they don't. How do you know these are even real, bro? Yeah, exactly. You don't. You know how easy it is to fake something online? You can literally make these, man. Like, see, that's the problem. Like, so sorry this happened. How do you even know this happened? Like, how do you know? Like, I'm not saying it didn't happen. I'm just saying that this doesn't prove anything, man. This is just some he said, she said bullshit. Like, dude, if you're going to drop hard fucking evidence, then you're going to put as much into it as you can. You know what I mean? Like, you're going to make it as vivid as possible. I very strongly feel that too many people jump to conclusions. And if you think that this proves anything, this doesn't, I could make this. I could literally make this right now. I mean, of course they put the timeline. She's the one that posted them. If it didn't match the timeline, then it wouldn't make any sense. Well, the thing is like, man, a lot of abuse victims, they don't report it because either they're traumatized. You know what I mean? So this person could just be fucking traumatized. I mean, like, personally, dude, if I was like fucking or something, I don't know if I would. I think it takes a lot of courage to fucking come out and say that, man. It's like, that fucks you up, dude. Like, I've never been in that situation, so I can't even begin to speak on it, but I would imagine that if I was in that situation, I mean, I don't know what I'd do. I don't know if I'd lose my shit. and like fucking freak the fuck out, I don't know if I would just stay quiet. I honestly don't know, man. I mean, I will say this though, like these to me don't really matter at all. Like, I mean, it's nice that she put these, but this doesn't really matter too much because you can Photoshop this shit. It's the little things that I focused on. So the fact that he would only talk to her when she was in a relationship. So like I used to hang out with a lot of, shitheads and stuff, man. I was in a band. So, I used to hang out with a lot of dudes that were like fucked a bunch of girls and stuff. I was one of those guys for a while. Okay. I was one of those guys. I was a typical band member asshole. Okay. I was a fucking piece of shit. All right. I mean, obviously not to this extent. Basically, this type of behavior, I know. In my experience, you always want something you can't have, right? It could be like she was with somebody. So maybe they were like, fucking on the side or something. And then when she got with somebody, he could no longer have that. So then he wanted it even more. That happens sometimes, because you want something that you can't have. So she mentioned that he would only come around when she was with somebody. So that to me makes sense. Like it's these little things. And that's very believable to me. Also, like when he supposedly allegedly kicked her out of the hotel room, he probably felt bad for doing it, but he didn't want her there more. Well, he felt bad because maybe he thought that she was going to talk about it. So he wanted to send a message pretending to care, which is what you okay? I've been around people that have like mistreated like women. It's pretty much the exact same situation. They try to do like damage control because like, hey, I kind of want to do everything that I want to do. I want to fuck, and then I want you to get the fuck out of here, but I don't want you to tell anybody about it because I don't want any shit. I've like actually experienced that before. See, this is another thing too, but when I confront him about it, I would get love bombed and gaslit into thinking he cared about me. Another thing with people with this like type of mentality, they only want to be with someone like just to fuck, but they don't want that person to fuck other people. When she mentions like sexual object, it's another thing that has multiple meanings, and the meaning that I took it as, he only wanted her to fuck him and not like other people. And then when she would start to, or when she would like get with somebody else, he would be like, oh shit, now I can't have her. And now all those feelings rose up where, oh, I got to get her back because I can't have her. So that's when the love bomb came in. That's how I take it anyway. Do you think taking legal action is better than in this sort of situation? Okay, so me personally, I don't think I can answer that because I've never been in this situation. But if I know cops, I would imagine that trying to, dude, can you like just think about it for a second. What are they going to do? You know how long this is going to take? Okay, so you go to the cops. It's not like they're just going to go and arrest him. These are like serious allegations, right? It's not just that easy. Just go to the cops. Like it's just not that easy. Dude, you could be getting robbed. I could be getting robbed right now on live stream. And I'm like, oh shit, I got to call the police. And you think they'd come out here in less than like 30 minutes, an hour? Dude, you can't even get fucking police to come to your fucking house. And if they do, they come in and they shoot the wrong people. So you don't want them there half the time anyway. So like all I'm saying, man, is this shit is like, it's complicated, That's why I try to stay out of these situations as best I can. I just try to like, I don't know, as simpy or dumb as this is going to sound, man. I just try to treat people well, and I just try to stay out of people's business, man. I don't know, man. I used to get into people's business all the time, like back in the day, man. Used to help out or try to help out and shit, man. And just shit like that like really works. I don't know, man. You also got to think about this too. Like, now this is probably going to sound cliche and shit, but money changes people. Okay, so when you have access to a lot of money, you tend to not give a fuck anymore. And when you don't give a shit about this, then not giving a shit about this leads to that. And then like eventually you just don't care about anything anymore because in the back of your mind, you're just like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I'll just pay for it. If you have access to a lot of money, which I imagine Rich does, or more money than most of us anyway, he probably just doesn't give a shit. It's probably the same shit with Mizkev. He just doesn't give a shit anymore. Look, man, I'm not going to get into if they did it. It's, dude, yeah. But my point being is that when you have money, you tend to not give a fuck anymore. Xeno is close to this point. No, I live a very, very cheap life because I understand that this is not going to last forever. I am preparing for the day when I am no longer doing this anymore. I have no intention of quit streaming or anything like that, I mean, I'm never going to quit streaming. That's why I asked how old Rich was, man, because this is like, I want to say, yeah, back when I was like 23, 24, from my early to mid 20s, man. Yeah. I experienced a lot of like this type of shit. I wish he would come out with his side. I'm very, very interested to see his side because as much as this is weird, like, I don't know, jacking off in front of somebody and then doing that. Like, I mean, I don't know. Some people are into that shit. You know, look, it's weird. It's weird to me. Like me personally, look, me personally. Okay. I am a fan of the pussy. Okay. I will worship the pussy. Okay. I love the pussy. Okay. I wouldn't, I'm not going to do that. Okay. Zeems. Stop. Okay, look, I would not do this. But that doesn't, like, look, if two people are into that shit, then it's whatever, you know, it's none of my fucking business, man. What people do in their own personal space is none of my fucking business, man. I'm not judging, okay, man. People shit on each other and they have a great time. You know, it's fine. It's whatever. I'm not into that, but it's whatever. It's fine. If he weren't guilty to some capacity, I'd imagine he'd be more adamant about rejecting the accusation up front. I just don't think it's that simple. The reason why I don't think it's that simple is because Rich has a brand. He's a part of an organization, or at least was. And I mean, look, guys, remember when everybody was shitting on Mizkef and everyone was like, your career's over, and I was like, man, ain't nothing gonna happen to him. Did anything happen to him? Fucking no. Hell no. No one gives a shit now. He's literally doing the same shit as he was. If Rich is gonna join OTK again later, then yeah, he doesn't even stream anymore. I mean, do you think he really has to? It's different for me because I'm seeing it from both sides. I'm seeing it from a content creator standpoint, and I'm also seeing it from like a viewer or like a non-creator standpoint. You know what I mean? And from a creator standpoint, he has a lot to think about, or at least I would imagine he has a lot to think about. You know, he has his reputation to think about. He has like his other, okay, I don't know too much about Rich. All right. Honestly, I don't know too much about him, but he played WoW and he was like a shoutcaster, I believe, right? This could potentially ruin future opportunities. So like, just because he hasn't released his statement doesn't necessarily make him guilty. Let me ask you guys this question. Let's say he comes out with something. Let's say that he comes out with something and it's bad. And then he comes out with something else that is way better. Do you think that's going to matter? No. The only thing that's going to matter is his first response. All the other responses after that, they don't matter near as much. If I were in his shoes, before I put out any type of statement, I would gather as much information I could on the situation from her side, even if I knew I was completely innocent. And the reason why is because it's one thing to say you're innocent, but it's another thing to actually prove that you are. So like, you're going to need, you know, like witnesses, hard evidence. You know what I'm saying? So like, let's say someone accused me and I knew that they were 100% bullshit. I would probably make something like this, you know, blah, blah, blah. I heard the statements against me. I will have my side of the story soon. That doesn't necessarily mean that, oh, he's got to make shit up or anything like that. Wait, Preach is probably punching walls and kicking. Why? Oh, because he's casting Preach is a smart guy, right? So why would he automatically assume that he's guilty? I think that you guys are like trying to project or something. Smarter than you! Guilty or not, you wouldn't want to be associated until you know for sure. Well, yeah, of course. When you're a content creator, like good content creators can separate the business mindset from like a personal one. Like you have to be able to remove your personal feelings in situations like this. Let's say that he's completely innocent, right? And Preach would be like, oh, fuck him, he's fucking stupid. Well, then now Preach fucked up because he jumped to conclusions and he got all mad for no reason and now he feels bad. You know what I'm saying? When you're a content creator and shit like this happens or something, you just excuse yourself. Like, look, man, the shit happened. I'm going to get my shit together and we're going to see what happens. You know, nothing personal. It's nothing personal. You don't know if it happened. I mean, once you know, yeah, then sure, you can get fucking pissed. You can be like, you know, the whole fucking Tate thing, you know, because I rated T with Tate. And when he came out to be a fucking piece of shit, you know, I was pissed. I was pissed about that. I was like, wow, this shitty ass apology you gave, fucking try again, idiot. Like, get the fuck out of here. Like, why are you taking advantage of your viewers? But going into it, I didn't initially think he was guilty. He wasn't kicked from OTK. He left. They requested, but that's normal business shit. No sponsor is going to touch them if one of their members has sexual allegations against them. It's a fucking brand risk. Like, look, man, in situations like this, like, obviously you're going to think how you think. You're going to do whatever you do. But I can tell you this, man. Like, look, I grew up without the internet. All right. Yeah, I did. I didn't have internet until I was like fucking 19 or 20. Or wait, when did I have internet? Yeah, I was like 19. Okay. I'm telling you, people jump to conclusions. All right. Like, there's already, like, dude, look at this shit. Like, there's already people believing her. So sorry this happened. Like, this guy doesn't use his brain. So sorry this happened. Like, dude, this doesn't doesn't fucking prove anything, bro. Like, holy shit. I'm not trying to be like insensitive or anything, but this doesn't actually prove shit. Some dudes don't deserve rights, and this is one of them. Holy fuck, dude. Jesus fuck. And then this guy, all for clicks. Yeah. The dude, there's like idiots on both sides. There's idiots on both sides of the spectrum. There's too many people that don't approach these type of situations as like a neutral standpoint. They're either hard against or hard for. Motherfuckers, you haven't even heard Rich's side. Like, dude, what if Rich just drops a bomb? What if Rich drops a bomb and he's got all these receipts where she's like, yeah, she wanted me to do this, you know? She loved it when I did this and all this shit, you know? Like what if? I'm not saying it's gonna happen. I'm just saying maybe it's possible. That's all I'm trying to say. And then all these motherfuckers in here, they're gonna look like idiots because they're jumping to conclusions. All of this shit is just fake positivity, man. Sending you big hugs, baby girl. Like, Jesus Christ. Like, you haven't even heard the other side of the story. What if she's a lying bitch? Like, what if he's a liar? You know, like what? You haven't even heard the other sides. It's just, sorry, man, it's a pet peeve of mine when people jump to conclusions. I just wish people would approach things with a more neutral mentality instead of automatically assuming. But I will tell you this, in my opinion, this looks really fucking bad for him. All of this is extremely believable. So unless he has some like hard fucking evidence and shit, it's going to be hard not to believe this. I will say that. Yo, no, I've thought about that before. Yeah, with Pro Jared. Pro Jared got absolutely fucking crucified and shit, and it turned out he didn't even do what the I mean, now don't get me wrong, he was a little weird, but he didn't even do what the allegations were against him. There were just like there was like two guys, I think, that made a bunch of allegations against him, and it turned out not to be true. Just because he was a little weird doesn't mean that he did what he was accused of doing. He was innocent, and he had all these receipts and shit. He had all this evidence. By the time that he came out with it, it was too late because everybody had already jumped sides. I still feel bad about that. I just feel like people should approach these situations more of a neutral standpoint, unless obviously that you know for a fact that it's true, you were close to the situation, you know, something like that, then yeah, it's different. But like, dude, man, like, dude, all these motherfuckers, dude, look at this shit. This is just copy paste. This is just all the copy paste, typical words, disgusting, big hugs, vile, just like, dude, you could literally copy paste this guy's fucking response to anything bad that happened online. I'm of the mentality that a majority of people don't actually give a shit. They just want people to perceive them as they give a shit. They just want to look like the good person. Damn it, I can't click on it. Yo, rip bozo. Waiting how Asmong will justify his behavior. Why does Asmong have to justify shit? Asmong is not responsible for Rich. What? What does this comment even mean? That's like, dude, you know what? I used to have people would come into my stream, or no, they would DM me and be like, hey, your mod was being an ass on another person's stream. Like they were like, I don't know, making fun of like a person in the party. And I'm like, dude, I'm not their keeper. The fuck? I'm not their keeper. I can't tell them what to do. Like, are you kidding me? I can't tell them what to do. I mean, depending on the severity, I can like ban them, but like, what the fuck you expect? Like, what? I can't control other people's behavior. Like, is Asmong Rich's dad? Like I don't get that mentality. It's so stupid. Why is Asmong even brought into this? Like, why specifically Asmon, not OTK? I can understand like OTK. Like now, if this was waiting how OTK will justify this, you know, then okay, they have. He's resigned. OTK has made a statement. Today we learned the troubling allegations made against one of our founders, Rich Campbell. Rich has resigned from OTK effective immediately. OTK stands firmly against sexual assault, sexual harassment, assault, and is committed to upholding its core values. We like, okay. Let me ask you guys this question. This is just a copy paste PR. If they did not put this out here, if they did not do this immediately, then it would make them look bad, okay? This does not mean that he's guilty. Okay, look guys, I'm just gonna be blunt. This just means, hey, we don't want your allegations fucking with our money, okay? You go away for now until you get that shit cleared up, and then when that's all cleared up, you can come back because you're scaring off the money, okay? That's what that means, all right? You're scaring off the money, Okay, money doesn't like this. Okay, ooh, money gets a little skittish. Okay, this doesn't mean that he's guilty. Like, that's like, look at this shit. Put this man behind bars, bro. You haven't even heard the other side. This is, dude, it's because of dumbasses like this. It's because of fucking morons like this that innocent people get, you know, people have spent years in jail that's been innocent, right? Like, dude, you haven't even heard, like, this motherfucker probably doesn't even know anyone in there. 2 essay cases in the same year for OTK. Okay, now that's a comment right there. Jesus Christ. What? This is why you should stay a degenerate recluse or date a VTuber. No chance of this happening. Right, because all VTubers never leave the house. Right, yeah. What in the fuck? Dude, unbearable thirst. Jesus fucking Christ. Oh my God, bro. Okay, that's enough of this. That is enough. That's enough of this for the day. Okay, I'm just gonna, here's my TLDR. I think that all of this is extremely believable, and I have actually experienced some of this. I don't know if I'm wording that correctly, but I have actually seen this happen to people. So all of this is extremely believable. I'm not taking it as 100%. I believe that these screenshots, they don't really prove anything because I can make this in Paint. I don't see how this is damning at all. I guess maybe because I've had people try to attack me before in the past and try to discredit me, and they've come up with some nonsense like this shit, and it was really sloppy and stuff. So I don't really believe a lot of these type of stuff. Like, this doesn't actually prove anything. I think that if you believe this shit, I think you're naive. And I think that me personally, from my opinion, I want to wait and hear his side before I make any judgments. That's just me. That's the fucking humble opinion of a fucking 37-year-old bald man, okay? Strummer, kiss his nut!